Hi everyone, this is the last page of the Chapter 5 Exam Review packet, starting with number 25. This is where we get into all the word problems, and I know how much you all love word problems. And you'll see that 25 kind of steps you through the three pieces that I would hope you would do with any one of these problems. 26, 27, 28 kind of just throw you in and say figure it out. But really you should be doing these three steps with all of these. So the first one, define the variables in this situation. The sum of two numbers is 12. The first number is 6 more than the second number. This is where I tell you to always look at the end of the question to see what is it that you're trying to find. At the end, when you give your answer, what are your answers? And for that, you actually have to skip down here to part C where it says find the two numbers. The two numbers are what you're trying to find. So that means when I go to define my variables, I'm going to say x is one of the numbers and y is another number. Okay, that's defining my variables. What are the two things you're trying to find? Now, write a system of equations. This is where I'm going to translate the information I have in the word problem into equations. Okay, so my first sentence says the sum of two numbers is 12. Sum means addition, and then it is 12, so that means it equals 12. So I'm taking my two numbers, my x and my y, adding them together and having it equal 12. X plus y equals 12. That's my first sentence. Now, I've used all of this information. I'm not going to put the 12 or any other number into my next equation. Okay, the next equation is its own sentence. The first number, so that's our x, is, which is equals, 6 more than means addition, the second number. So if you look at what I just wrote up there, my next equation looks like this. X equals 6 plus y. And that's my system. Now I'm going to solve, and that's where I'm using either substitution or elimination. In a system like this one, because this one is solved for x already, I would probably use substitution. Put that in for x up there. So that's going to give me 6 plus y plus another y equals 12. I can combine these two, so that's really 6 plus 2y equals 12. I'm going to subtract the 6. So 2y equals 6, and I'm just going to slide over here. If I divide by 2, I end up with y equals 3. So that's one of my numbers. One of my numbers is 3. I know that for sure. Now when I go to find the other number, and actually in this one, either one of these equations would be pretty easy to use, but this one tells me what x equals. That's what I'm trying to find, is what does x equal? So I would say x equals 6 plus y. Oops, didn't mean to write that again, but that's okay. So x equals 6 plus 3, because I know my y value is 3. That means x is equal to 9. So my two numbers are 9 and 3. And let's just make sure that makes sense. Do 9 and 3 added together make 12? Yes, they do. And is 9 equal to 6 plus 3? Yeah, it sure is. So those are my two numbers. Okay, so now let's look at number 26. And again, like I said, I would expect to see you go through these three steps on any word problem. It's just not always going to spell it out for you like that. So we're selling small boxes of candy and large boxes of candy. We know we sell 11 boxes total. We earn a total of $31. How many of each size did she sell? So I'm going to start here. How many of each size? That's what I'm trying to find. So my variables, my x and my y. X is going to be the number of small boxes, and y is going to be my number of large. Now I would be careful that you don't just write small and large, because you want to make sure you're not confusing the number with the cost. Okay, so am I searching for the number? Am I searching for how much does it cost? You know, you really want to pay attention to that. So, okay, so I know that small boxes are $2 and large boxes are $5. So right away from that first set of information, okay, I would say, all right, if I'm looking at the cost, it's $2 for a small and $5 for a large. Okay, so however many smalls I purchase, I multiply that by 2. However many larges, I multiply by 5. Now, this is talking money. This is my money equation. Okay, money plus money has to equal money. Okay, so looking at the rest of this equation, because this one doesn't translate quite as cleanly as that one before, make sure that you're making money plus money equal money. So that would be the $31. Okay, we're going to use that 11 in just a minute, but that's my money equation. Now, the other piece of information I have here is that I sell 11 boxes total. That's a number. That's a number of boxes there. So my other equation is going to deal with the number of boxes I sell. And X and Y both represent numbers of boxes. So if I take the number of small and the number of large together, that's going to be 11. So that's just going to say X plus Y equals 11. So this is a pretty common setup where you have one equation dealing with money and one equation dealing with the number. Just make sure you don't try to put the 11 in this equation or try to use the 31 down here. This equation is all the money stuff and this equation is all the number stuff. Okay, now to solve, I would probably do this one with elimination. It wouldn't be hard to do with substitution if you wanted to, but I would use elimination. I would multiply this bottom equation by, oh, it doesn't matter. We could go -2 or we could go -5. I'm just going to go -2. So this equation is now going to read -2x minus 2y equals -22. And I'm adding that together. I'm just going to rewrite the top equations so they're right next to each other. So 2x plus 5y equals 31. So if I add those two equations together, my x's are going to cancel because that's what I wanted to have happen. -2 plus 5 is 3, so that'd be 3y equals, and -22 plus 31 is 9. So that gives me that y is equal to 3 if I divide both sides by 3. Okay? And then I need to go back and find my number of my number of small boxes. That's my number of large boxes. I guess I should have put that. That's 3 large boxes. Okay. Now I need to go back and find my number of small. Well, I can plug into any of these equations you see here, but probably this one is the most simple. So x plus y equals 11. That would mean x plus 3 equals 11, because we just found that y was 3. Subtract 3 on each side, and I get that x is equal to 8, and that's my number of small boxes. So to answer the question, I must have sold 8 small boxes and 3 large boxes. With ones like this, you don't really have to write them as a coordinate because they're not representing like a point on a graph. If you did write them as a coordinate, I wouldn't mark it wrong, but you don't have to. Okay, 27, Jeanette and an electrician. Jeanette's looking to hire this electrician. She talked to 2 of her friends who hired the same electrician. The one friend had a 3-hour job and paid $236. Another one paid $360 for a 5-hour job. Now you've got to be careful. You can't just divide here. You can't just go to 236 divided by 3 and 360 divided by 5. You're going to get 2 different answers, and then one friend's going to think that they got ripped off. The issue here is they charge an hourly rate plus a flat rate service fee. Okay? And this question is asking us to find the hourly rate and the service fee. Those are going to be our 2 variables. So I'm going to use H to represent the hourly rate. And F to represent the service fee. Okay, so that's like the flat rate. So basically, this electrician charges you a set amount just to come out to your house and do a job, and then they charge you by hour also, and that's a pretty common pricing structure. So let's talk about her first friend. The first friend paid $236 for a 3-hour job. Okay, so they paid for 3 hours. but they also paid this flat rate service fee. Okay, and their grand total was $236. Now this friend paid $360 for a 5-hour job. So they paid for their 5 hours, plus they must have paid that service fee, and that's going to equal $360. Okay, so there are 2 equations, one for each friend. Now from here, I would probably solve with elimination, and it would be easiest just to take one of your equations and make everything negative, because if you could make one of these negatives, those would be set to cancel out right now. So I'm going to make that top equation negative. I'm just going to stick a negative there, negative there, negative there. When I add together going up and down, I get 2h. My f's cancel. And let's see, I feel like I should know this one. That's going to be 64. I think that's going to be 124. Okay, a difference of 124 there. Divide by 2, and I get that h is equal to 62. So this particular electrician charges $62 per hour. Okay? That's their hourly rate. Now to find the service fee, I'm going to plug that back in to either one of my equations. I'm going to go with this one, but what it used to be before I switched it to negative. So this used to be 3h plus f equals 236. I'm going to plug in my 62, so 3 times 62 plus f equals 236. Well, 3 times 62 is 186, so this is 186 plus f equals 236. I'm going to subtract that 186 from each side, and let's see, I think that's going to give me a difference of 50. So a $50 service fee. Okay, and if you went back and double checked the numbers on the 2 friends' claims for what they paid, it should work out correctly. Okay, one more to go. This one's sort of similar to number 27, except it's not as explicit. There's a couple of things that are really subtle that you have to pick up on here. So Carson's joining a gym. At this gym, you pay a flat membership fee, and then you also pay each time you visit. And then it gives you breakdown. If you visit 10 times this year, he'll pay $105. If you visit 8 times a year, you'll pay $129. I want to know, how much will I pay if I visit 26 times? Again, it's not as easy as just dividing, okay, and then multiplying by 26. Because I have a membership fee and I have the small fee each time, like a visiting fee or a charge per visit, something like that. Now, this doesn't come right out and say, find the membership fee, find the small fee. You actually have to find those things on your own and then use those things to answer this next question. So sort of hidden in here is you're going to have to calculate these 2 things to be able to answer that last question. Okay? So just like before, I'm going to say that F, maybe let's use M. M is my membership fee. And let's let V be my cost per visit. So if we visit 10 times, we're paying $105. So I know I'm going to pay for 10 visits, right? But I'm also going to pay for my membership fee. And that's going to equal $105. And then if I visit 18 times, I'd be paying for 18 visits plus my membership fee, and that'd be $129. Just like before, this one's going to solve very similarly to this one. I would go through and make one of your equations negative, so that when you add together, these are going to cancel. So this would leave me with 8v equals a difference of 24. And so if I divide, I get v equals 3. And that's $3 per visit. Okay? Now let's go back and figure out what our membership fee would be. Again, I think I'll go to this top equation before I made it all negative. So it used to look like this. So I'm going to say 10 times 3 plus m equals 105. 10 times 3 is really 30. If I subtract that 30 from each side, I get that M is equal to $75. And that's my membership fee. Okay, now I'm not done this time. Last time I was done because that's where my question ended. It said find the two fees. This time I want to know, now I'm going to pay, I want to visit 26 times. So after I do all of that work, I still need to go back and figure out what does that mean if I want to visit 26 times. Well, if I want to visit 26 times, I'm paying 26 visits plus the membership fee. So I would be doing 26 times my V value, which is 3, plus my membership fee, which we said was 75. Let's see, that's going to be 78. So 78 and 75, I believe, are going to be 153. So it's going to cost me $153 to visit 26 times, okay, which would be once every other week. And just, I would, after you answer a question like that, just make sure it makes sense with your answers here. Obviously, 26 is more than 18, so we would expect our answer to be a little more than that 129. Not astronomically more, but should be more. So I would say that answer seems reasonable. Okay, that's it for Chapter 5. Hopefully you've survived this long, and I'll be creating some Chapter 6 videos coming up next.